Cribbing is important to stop lateral, forward, up and down, any kind of motion. Dude, that was dumb. Hold on one second, man.
This is Captain Richard Fisher from Station 16C, and I'm going to be demonstrating arrival upon an extrication and some of the procedures that we do in order to set up for extrication. So first thing we do, obviously, is get some of the notes to kind of assume and formulate a plan as we're going to the extrication, trying to get as much information as possible. Upon arrival, getting on the radio, advising the other units of what we have, what type of vehicles, any hazards or anything else that present. And as a captain, what I'm going to do is come out and do my 360 walk around. As I'm doing my 360, I'm going to be checking doors to see if they're going to open. As I'm still doing a CAN report, updating everybody, checking doors, seeing how many patients there are, looking to see what type of vehicle it is, and just also formulating a plan on if we do need to extricate and how we're going to extricate. Also announcing the extrication on the radio. Once announcing extrication, my driver is going to grab the charged hose line, grab a hose line, pull it towards the scene. In case there is any flames or creation of sparks or any fluids that are on the ground. From there, we're going to grab the cribbing. My driver will then pull out the tarp and start doing an order of operations on what we need, starting from a simple door pop to removing the roof, to doing a dash push. One of the first things we need after the tarp is a soft cover and a hard cover as well too. The soft cover we have in the extrication compartment, a hard cover. Sometimes some units have a half board. You can also use a spine board in order to shove it through the back window if that's available, in order to protect the patient in between cutting, using sawzalls, things like that, and also extricating from this door pop. From there, the driver will also grab the cutters and spreaders. And those are going to be the essential tools in order to do a door pop, for which we're going to be looking for access in order to do it, whether it be the hinge, the nadir pin, or creating a crush area with the Halligan, making a purchase point. From there, he's next going to grab the Glassmaster long screwdriver to do a peek and peel in case we have to do the roof operation, and any other essentials that we need. And then he'll also finally grab the ram and the extension in order to facilitate a dash push if we choose to use the ram. So from there, we can start the operations until somebody else shows up on scene, another engine shows up on scene, so we can have a fully charged manned hose line while we're doing the extrication.
Hi, I'm Fire Medic Ryan Travis. Today we're going to talk about some cribbing. So what we have here is our standard box that we find on most engine companies. Our cribbing, we have our 4x4s, our wedges, and our 2x4s. The basics of what we're doing with this is stabilizing a car, whether it's to stop lateral movement or up and down movement. So our three different standard cribbing sizes right here that we're going to find in most places, you'll notice they're 18 inches. We have 4x4s, wedges, and 2x4s. All of these pieces of wood have a different purpose that help us accomplish the same goal. So our basic building block when we're talking about cribbing is going to be our 4x4. In its most basic form, box cribbing. A standard box just like this is rated for 24,000 pounds. The type of wood that we're using is southern pine. The reason we use that, it's a softer wood. It's going to give us some audible cues if it's failing. We're going to hear some cracking. It's also going to allow the car to set into the wood a little bit better. With this right here, at each corner we have 6,000 pounds of weight capacity. So 24,000 pounds for this. A couple rules with this cribbing here. If we're going to use the wedge, right? So this right here is going to be under the car. As we're capturing our load, our wedge, we're going to have our 90-degree side down, and we're going to slide it in. If we come to a point where we're right here and we need to do this, we cannot span gaps in our cribbing. This is one of our rules. we have to be in line. So how do I do that? As I'm building my cribbing, I can make a solid base. So this allows me to now come here, 90-degree side down, and have a solid base underneath this wedge. Obviously, the shape of the wedge is a little bit different than the shape of the 4x4, so you're not gonna have the same weight capacity across that. If we do it like this, and all the weight's on there, it makes sense we're not as strong, right? A couple of other small rules. We're always gonna have a little bit of overhang, right? So, right here, you'll notice there's overhang on every single side. And our rules with this 18-inch cribbing, we can go 3 times the width of the base in height. So 3 times 18, to keep it nice and simple, that gives us about 9 rows of cribbing up that we can go. Same thing with our 2x4, we're not gonna span gaps with this. It's always in line. As we're going, a question people are probably gonna ask is, well, I don't have enough cribbing to keep making these solid bases, what do I do? So I have my 2 pieces here. When I want to go make my next up movement, I can take from there and slide up. Other things to keep into consideration as we're moving this cribbing, our hand placement is very important. So when we're putting this cribbing underneath of a car like we have right here, it's very important to make sure that our hands don't go underneath the car like this. If we're cribbing with the goal of stabilizing a vehicle for the possibility that it sinks for whatever reason, goes down, it's important to not put our hands in a crush zone. So I have 2 options. I can either start like this, or I can come here and use cribbing or a tool to push it underneath the vehicle. Other things you'll notice as we're going here, as I go to put this cribbing under, a second 4x4 is not gonna fit right there because of the height. So what do? That's where our wedge comes in. 90-degree side down, and it's gonna go in place. Our goal with this cribbing is to maintain at least 3 points of contact with a car. Very basic, simple rule is lift an inch, crib an inch. Anytime we're doing something that's gonna affect the suspension of the car, lifting, moving, even taking doors off or other pieces of material, we're taking weight away from the suspension system. It's very important to continuously check our cribbing as we're doing this. Part of knowing how to crib is knowing why we're cribbing. Cribbing is very important for us to stop any movement of the car as we're operating near and around this vehicle. Another thing you'll notice, as I'm cribbing, I'm never dropping the 2 knees on the ground. I'm keeping 1 knee down and 1 knee up so I can quickly move out of the way. We're focusing mainly on our collapse zones. On a standard wheel resting vehicle, the collapse zone is not as much of a concern, but with a vehicle that's side resting or overturned, it's very important that we're paying attention to our collapse zones and cribbing places where the vehicle might move to. Cribbing is also a fantastic tool to give us a base underneath the vehicle to push off of and lift off of as we are making our movements, such as dash lifts and dash pushes. So if we would like to do a dash lift on this vehicle, it's very important that we have a base that we can push off of here. If I push off of this, I'm transferring all the weight, my energy transfer right here versus crushing the vehicle down towards the ground. We want to maintain total control over the vehicle and make it move where we would like it to move.
So when we're talking about extrication, a common thing that we have to do is a door pop. A door pop may be enough to complete the extrication, but every complex extrication is going to start with taking the doors or popping the doors. So for some quick anatomy, we have our A post, our B post, and our C post. We have our roof rail, and then we have our lower rail called our rocker panel. So once we have our primary stabilization in place and our plan is to go ahead and pop this door, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our spreaders, we're gonna stay off of the B post, but we're gonna stay close. So about, I don't know, I'd say 4 to 6 inches. We're gonna take our spreaders, we're gonna have our handle high. That's gonna allow that bottom arm to swing out and articulate this way. Our goal is to, number 1, break glass, make sure we have our patient covered. We're gonna break glass, we're gonna get our spreaders in there, handle high. we're gonna go ahead and sweep this door out. When we sweep that door out, it's gonna create a gap between the B post and this part of our door. Once we get enough spread and we have that gap, we can come in with our spreaders and we can attack this vertically, and we'll just work our way down. We're working our way down towards the nadir pin. That nadir pin is the latch that holds this door to that B post. So once we get to that nadir pin, we're gonna stay on it. Once we get that door swept out, that nadir pin is gonna pop and allow this door to open up nice and easy. If you don't want to attack it vertically, once we do our vertical crush and we get this all the way out and we start to get separation, you can come in sideways and do the same thing. You're gonna basically just start attacking that metal, pulling it back until we get to that nadir pin, and that nadir pin is gonna pop. It's gonna allow this door to open up. If you're starting to spread and you notice that your door is starting to tear, stop what you're doing, figure out a different way to attack it. If you push that too far, it's gonna make this thing super complex trying to get it open. So nice and slow, nice and easy. Vertical crush, work your way down once you have a gap, or attack it from the side. We'll get that nadir pin popped open, it'll allow that door to open right up. So when we get on scene of a possible extrication and we confirm that we do have patients trapped, once our captain completes his 360, comes up with the game plan, if he calls for total roof removal, it's nothing complicated, nothing to worry about. The steps of doing a roof removal are gonna be, obviously we're gonna break glass first, make sure our patients are covered with the patient tarp. That way they don't get cut up by any of this glass. We have all of our posts that we have to cut. We're gonna cut the post closest to the patient last. So we have our A post, our B post, and our C post. With some of these C posts, they're wide. It might take a couple cuts. So you would come in and cut one side, follow it with a cut on the opposing side. Or if you get one good cut, you can take a Sawzall and rip the rest of that post through. While I have one tool working on this side, I would have another guy working on the other side, cutting those 3 posts. The last post, before we cut that, again, it's gonna be the one closest to our patient. We wanna make sure that we have all hands on deck. We have people holding this roof up. That way, when we make the call to cut that last post, we have preferably 2 people on each side. That last cut gets made, we have the weight of the roof, and we can just walk it back. When we walk it back, we want to make sure that we have the windshield completely removed with the glass flapped over the roof. Keep in mind also all these windows will be broken, so the glass shouldn't be a factor. But if we're removing the roof backwards, we don't want to drag that windshield that's been cut over the patient. So we'll want to make sure that's flapped down onto the hood of that car. We'll take the roof back, set it down, and continue on with our extrication. So we're gonna go over a no relief dash lift. This is a way to quickly and efficiently get this dash lifted up off of the patient if you have secondary entrapment. So once we perform our door pop and now we have our door open, this is what we're looking at. It's important whenever we do this move to make sure that we remove all the plastic and all of the rubber. So we're gonna strip all of this away. And what that's doing is it's gonna give us a good purchase point to put the tips of our spreader without them slipping. So a no relief dash lift is exactly what it sounds like. There's no relief cuts that have to be made. This is a technique that works most of the time, and it's a good go-to move, especially if you're on an engine company when you have limited manpower and limited tools. This works 90% of the time. So when you look at our dash, we have a bar that runs from A post to A post. It's a reinforced bar. It's called a crash bar. If you pop this plastic away, you should be able to visualize it. If you have a higher dash, sometimes this move can be a little bit more complicated, but for a mid-size or a lower dash, it's a good move. So when you come up here, you remove all of this plastic away, you can pop this plastic and you're gonna visualize that crash bar from A post to A post. When we come in with our spreaders, we're gonna place the bottom spreader tip on this metal. Again, stripped away rubber and plastic, so no slippage. We're gonna come in with our handle nice and high. So we're gonna have our handle nice and high, and the object that we're trying to achieve here is to let that arm of that spreader sweep up, and it's gonna grab that dash bar. So I'm gonna come in, rubber, plastic is all gone, put my tip right there. We're gonna stay close to the A post, but not right up on it. We're gonna go handle high. So when this arm starts to sweep up, it's gonna grab this dash bar, and we're gonna get a lot of lift. At first, you might just have to break away some of this plastic. Once we break away some of this plastic, we might be able to visualize that bar a little bit better. But it's a good move. It works 90% of the time. This is my go-to. So the next move that we're gonna talk about is gonna be a dash roll or a dash push. It's basically one and the same. So once we get our door popped, if we have secondary entrapment, which the dash pushing down on our patient, we have to get that dash lifted up. A couple different techniques. We went over the no relief dash lift. This is just another way of accomplishing the same goal. So with our B-post intact, we have plastic and rubber. We'll remove that. We're gonna have our ram. We have little L brackets that we can brace on this B-post, and what those brackets are gonna do is they're gonna give us a purchase point for the tip of that ram for us to push off of without it spreading. So if we have our B-posts here, we're gonna remove all of our rubber, all of our plastic. You can either go directly on the base of the B-post or use that L bracket. You're gonna come in with your ram, put the end piece of your ram right here, and you're gonna try to capture that same crash bar. The crash bar is gonna run from A post to A post across the entire dash. It's reinforced, it's a good push point. We're gonna break through all of this plastic initially with that ram to get to that point where we can visualize that bar. We're gonna put the end of that bar, or the end of the ram right on the end of this bar, and we're gonna send this thing through the dash. If we can't visualize the crash bar, or for whatever reason there is not one, we can also push off of this A post. We'd come up and push off nice and high. So we'd be from here with that ram, and we'd come off, and we'd hit this A post nice and high, and we'd lift this dash. We're gonna need relief cuts. So prior to pushing this dash or rolling this dash, we're gonna make 2 relief cuts, possibly 3. Our first relief cut is gonna be over here on the bottom side of this A post. We're gonna come right here below this hinge, and we're gonna come right here above this hinge. There's gonna be about a 4 to 5 inch gap, and this door would be removed, so we'd be able to visualize this A post a lot easier. We would also come up here and probably make a cut on the A post nice and high, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow us, when we're pushing this dash, this A post isn't gonna be getting held back by this roof rail. So relief cut here, 2 relief cuts here. We're gonna come in with our L bracket, base of the ram, come up nice and high on this A post, and we're just gonna start driving that ram out, and it's gonna push it up. We can either go off the A post, or we can come in here and find that crash bar running from A post to A post and get a lot of lift on this dash.